As we get closer to GDC and E3 2019, the leaks just keep on coming. Seems like every single day you have a new leak regarding the PlayStation 5 specs, or the games that might launch with it, or what is going on with the Xbox 2, the next-gen Xbox. Well, this video in particular is going to detail the newer leaks regarding the PlayStation 5 and how it's going to be an absolute monster, and if I think it's real or not. What's going on, guys? Thor19, the man with the million, back again with another video. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave it a like, share it out on social media, and maybe hit that subscribe button if you enjoy the content. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, first off, this leak is a little bit old, comes to us from Beyond, posted about a month ago on the forum, and the only reason I'm even covering it now is because I got about 10 DMs from you guys asking me to make a video about it and give my thoughts on whether or not I thought it was true, which is exactly why I'm doing it. Now, looking at the specs here, this PS5 would be an absolute monster, and I would want it. As somebody who wants the best for console gaming, I want the Xbox Anaconda and the rumored 12 teraflops. I'm cool with that system being $500. I'll buy it day one. I would like the PlayStation 5 to be similar in spec. I'm not about, oh, Xbox needs to be better than PlayStation. I don't really care, even though I'm an Xbox guy. I just want really great hardware, you know, a really kick-ass CPU so we can get rid of these limitations. So I would love for all this stuff to be true. But there's a part of me that's like, I don't know if it is true. Now, what this guy is saying is that the PlayStation 5 dev kits are in the wild, and he has access to them, and that the system will be revealed very close to E3 2019 in a Sony special event with some mind-blowing tech demos and a few megatons and a release date for Q1, Q2 2020, which would be anywhere between January to June of next year. Now, we've talked about that before, the possibility of the PlayStation 5 coming out in March of 2020. Very similar to how Nintendo Switch did it a couple years ago. It saw great success, selling out right away, and then having that, extra boon of sales in the holiday season. Something Sony can do, and they can potentially get the jump on the next-gen Xbox. You could launch with the Ghost of Tsushima, perhaps The Last of Us Part 2, maybe Death Stranding, and a whole bunch of other games, and just kind of start out next-gen with an absolute bang. And he even says here, The Last of Us 2, motion matching in 4K 60 frames is a joy to watch. But the specs, that's what the video is about, and we're going to get into it right now. He says the CPU is 8-core, 16 threads at 3.2 gigahertz Zen 2, and it's the biggest improvement we've ever seen CPU-wise, even bigger than PS2 to PS3. Looks like a very similar CPU that is rumored to be in the Xbox Lockhart and the Xbox Anaconda. Now, the GPU is fully Navi-based GPU with some AMD's next-gen features, anywhere between 12.6 teraflops to 14.2 teraflops, with the GPU clock still being undecided. The memory, 24 gigabytes, that's right. Wow, 24 gigabytes with 20 gigabytes of GDR6 reserved for games, and 4 gigabytes of DDR4 reserved for the operating system, and it ships with a 2 terabyte hard drive. Now, when you compare that to the rumored Xbox Lockhart specs, Lockhart has supposedly 12 teraflops. This has anywhere up to 14.2. Similar CPU. Lockhart supposedly has 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory. This has 24 with 20 reserved for games. Now, it's possible that this could be dev kit stuff, and usually the dev kits have way more RAM, way more memory, so that you kind of like cut it in half, so that 24 gigabytes would actually be like 12. I don't really know how that would translate, but that seems like way more than what Lockhart got. But just reading this and seeing what everybody is kind of saying about it in the comments section, this system would be an absolute monster. It would be a beast. It would be right up there with the rumored Xbox Anaconda specs. A system that would play all the multi-platform games and Sony's first-party games at the highest possible fidelity, with the least limitations, using that brand new CPU. Would I want it? 100%. I would love for this leak to be true, because I would want to get that PS5 day one and enjoy the PlayStation exclusives on that system. You guys know I'm an Xbox gamer. I'll play all the multi-platform stuff on the Xbox, but I would buy this system day one and I would be happy about that purchase. But of course, I'm not so sure that this is a very true leak. Now, it was a random user on Beyond, even though that's very similar to how the Wii U specs came out. Just a single dude. Those kind of situations usually end up being false. There's someone trying to claim to fame, saying that I know these inside details and you guys should listen to me. So that's kind of strike one, right? Now, strike two is reading the specs and kind of thinking about the price point here. You're looking at $500 for the system, which we've speculated could be the price of Xbox Anaconda with the, all this good stuff they're putting in that. And I have to doubt that Sony would release a PlayStation 5 at $500 when $400 really helped them dominate this generation. Now, unless Sony is willing to take a massive loss early on, maybe it's possible that is the case, but in my mind, Sony wouldn't do that. So I think right from there, the fact that this system would be priced at $500, I think that's the biggest red flag. Not saying that Sony doesn't want a powerful system, because I think they do. I just don't think they want to get into that era of $500 and $600, because on paper, those specs, that's going to be really expensive. I mean, just look at the Xbox One X, which came out in 2017. It had Jaguar CPU, it had 6 teraflops, all this different stuff in there less than 2 years ago, and that system came in at $500, and Microsoft said they're basically selling it at cost. They weren't making any money on it, and they weren't losing any money on it. Now, 3 years later, you're going to have a system that has way more memory, way more powerful GPU, a next-gen GPU with way more teraflops of power, a way better CPU, and you're going to get that for $500? Doubtful. So I don't really believe this leak. And it has nothing to do with me being an Xbox fan, because I have my doubts on any of these leaks. It's just, I think Sony is going to target the $400. They're going to go mid-range. They're going to create a very powerful machine, but they're going to create a very powerful machine for the price. And I think Xbox knows that, which is why they're targeting a premium system and a lower spec system. So as much as I would love for this to be true, as much as I would love to have the PlayStation 5 be an absolute monster comparable to Anaconda, to be able to see God of War 2 and Horizon Zero Dawn 2 and Spider-Man 2, can you imagine those games running on the specs presented here? Oh my god, I'm drooling at the thought of God of War 2 on this machine, considering how God of War 1, or God of War the reboot rather, looked on the PS4 Pro. It's one of the best looking games I've ever played, and that was on the PS4 Pro. Some of these Sony devs can be absolute wizards when it comes to tech and graphics. And then you give them this machine, a way better CPU, a way more powerful GPU, and way more memory. It'd be amazing to see what they could create, the worlds that PlayStation could give to their users. It's just, Sony's also a business. They're in it to make money. And if you're selling this system at $400, taking a loss when you should be selling at $500, that eats into your bottom line. PlayStation needs to be very profitable for Sony as a company. It's very important to Sony. PlayStation is Sony. So I can't see them selling this for a loss. And I can't see them starting out next generation at $500. So to me, this spec stuff, this leak here is false. I don't think it's true. I would love for it to be true, but I don't think it is. Alright guys, that is the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below whether or not you believe this stuff is real or fake, and how excited you are for the PlayStation 5 to actually be officially revealed. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, share this out on social media with a friend. I would appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button if you're new, and if you always want to be notified when I drop new content, hit that notification bell located right next to that sub button so you're notified immediately. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Later, guys.